All things Mavs.
What's up, Mavs fans? Welcome into All Things Mavs. I'm your host, as always, Jimmy Crowther, breaking down all the latest Dallas Mavericks news and Dallas Mavericks rumors. Now, the offseason has begun for our Dallas Mavericks, and that means there could be some coaching changes coming very soon. Chicago Bulls recently fired their head coach, Jim Boylen, just in August after 2 seasons with the teams. And according to multiple reports, there's 2 Dallas Mavericks assistant coaches that are being interviewed by the Chicago Bulls. Silas and Jamahl Mosley are both reportedly getting interviewed by Chicago. The Mavs have granted them permission to go ahead and interview with the team. And Adrian Wojnarowski says that the head coaching process and interview process is well underway. Now, Silas and Jamahl Mosley are not the only 2 assistant coaches that are being interviewed by the Chicago Bulls. There's a lot of other names that they have on their list. Now, if you're a subscriber to Chat Sports, you know that I've already broken down all of the potential coaches for Chicago. But the names that Adrian Wojnarowski has recently put out, of course, Jamahl Mosley and Silas, both assistant coaches for the Dallas Mavericks. Ime Udoka of the Philadelphia 76ers is an assistant that has also been granted permission to go ahead and interview for the position. David Vanderpool, who is an associate head coach for the Minnesota Timberwolves, will interview. One guy who didn't need any permission and is just getting interviewed anyway, Kenny Atkinson, former head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Darvin Ham, a guy who's been under Mike Budenholzer and has done a great job as an assistant in Milwaukee, will get an interview along with Wes Unseld Jr. and Dan Craig of the Miami Heat. Now, let's say Chicago decides to go ahead and sign, or I guess hire, Silas or Jamahl Mosley. If that happens, who should the Mavs pick up to add to their coaching staff? I know you guys love the idea of maybe getting Jason Kidd back in the Mavericks mix. Maybe you want a Mark Jackson. Maybe there's another name out there that you want to replace one of these 2 guys. Who might it be? Maybe JJ Barea. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We're going to talk about him later in the show. Let's talk more about Jamahl Mosley and what the Mavs might be losing if he does decide to sign and be the new head coach of the Chicago Bulls. Well, he spent the last 6 seasons with the Mavs, so he's very familiar with the system. He was the team's defensive coordinator back in 2018, and he was in charge of coaching the Mavs Summer League team as well. Now, the New York Knicks were looking for a head coach back in June. They obviously went with Tom Thibodeau, but they also interviewed Jamahl Mosley. The most important thing about Mose is that he's really good at developing relationships with the players in the organization, more specifically Luka Doncic, who, of course, is the team's star and franchise cornerstone at this point in time. Tim McMahon, who's really more plugged into the Dallas Mavericks than any national reporter, had this to say about Jamahl Mosley. So Jamahl Mosley, the Mavs defensive coordinator, excels at building relationships with players. He's the coach who works with Luka Doncic the most, including putting him through his pregame routine. Now, I'm a big fan of Jamahl Mosley. I know Luka Doncic is as well. And that, wouldn't be the best thing to see him walk out and have that relationship broken because he decides to go to Chicago. But the Mavs do have another assistant that is being interviewed for the job as well in Silas. Now, Silas hasn't been with the team as long as Jamahl Mosley, but he has been around since 2018. He's never been a head coach in the league, but he spent time with the Charlotte Hornets, also the Charlotte Bobcats at the time, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Washington Wizards, the Golden State Warriors, and he knows the coaching scene real well because he is the son of Paul Silas, who was in the NBA head coaching scene for the longest time. Now, Silas is good, but he's no Jamahl Mosley. I think if I had to choose one or the other for the Mavs to basically let go, I think I'd be more okay with letting Silas walk out and Jamahl Mosley staying on the staff. Now, Rick Carlisle has one of the best assistant coaching staffs in the league. He's got Silas, who's in his first full season, just finished it. Jamahl Mosley now finishes his 5th full season. Darrell Armstrong, who actually was with the team as a player for a little bit and now has been a coach for over a decade. Mike Weiner, same thing. And then Jenny Busek, one of the few female assistant coaches in the NBA, has now finished her 2nd full season with the Dallas Mavericks. So if one of Jamahl Mosley or Silas are gone, they still got a lot of solid assistant coaches ready to come back and help out Rick Carlisle. Now, one thing that you guys can do to help me out is get this channel to 7,000 subscribers. When we were doing all the live streams, we hit over 6,000. We're currently, last time I checked, we're at 6,361 subscribers. That means 6,361 Mavs fans for life that are watching every single video. I love all you guys. I love interacting with you guys in the comment section. I love seeing y'all's faces and comments and everything. Even if you're hating on me, just subscribe. Make sure to get me to 7,000 subs. Now, I hinted at it, but let's talk more about JJ Barea and what he's going to do this summer. JJ is an unrestricted free agent. He's 36 years old, but he recently told a news outlet that he was frustrated with his lack of playing time inside the NBA bubble. Now, Barea is going to, as I said, be an unrestricted free agent, and there's really no idea if he's going to be back or if he's gone. Now, one thing about Barea, it's very well known that his family, his young kids, his wife, everyone is in Dallas. The only other team he's ever played for was with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that ended terribly. He ended up back in Dallas, and he's been kind of that veteran leader in the locker room this year. We obviously know he has a strong relationship with Luka. He can speak Spanish with them. He's really good international, like with all the international players. We know this about JJ. But when he was asked about his NBA future, this is what he had to say. He said, I still want to play basketball. I feel like I can still play basketball. I don't know exactly where. If it's going to be in Dallas, I know they want me to move to coach. If I want to play basketball, I'll have to go the other way. So, in other words, if JJ Barea is looking to stay on the Dallas Mavericks, it's not going to be as a player. It is going to be as an assistant coach or maybe a player development coach. Now, inside the NBA bubble, as he mentioned, he was frustrating with that playing time. I mean, it wasn't very consistent. When he did get 10-plus minutes, he got 13 minutes against Sacramento, scored 1 point, had 1 assist, had 1 rebound. His best game came against the Utah Jazz when all the Mavs starters were out. He played 26 minutes, put up 18 points and 8 assists, so he showed he had something left in the tank. But after that, he didn't do a whole lot. Now, I think one of the main reasons he won't be back in Dallas is because this team is kind of stacked at the point guard position. You got Luka Doncic, who next year I think will be a top 3 MVP candidate. Jalen Brunson's under contract next year as well. He'll be in his 3rd year, fully recovered from that torn labrum. Trey Burke, I would imagine, comes back to the Dallas Mavericks on a guaranteed contract, and that leaves JJ Barea kind of out in the dust. Now, if Barea wants to go play somewhere, I'm sure there's a team that could use a veteran leader. I don't know what kind of team that is. Maybe it's a team with young point guards like the Cleveland Cavaliers. But does JJ Barea really want to uproot his family and move out of Dallas? I don't think so. I have a feeling Barea is going to choose to either be a coach or retire in Dallas and play a lot of golf and play a lot of tennis with his beautiful wife and his beautiful kids. So, I'm going to ask you the question. Do you want JJ Barea back as a player? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Now, if you're typing your in for no, if you say no, I don't want him back as a player, then tell me if you want him back as a coach, because I would love him to stay inside the Dallas Mavericks organization. He has already developed amazing relationships with the young stars, Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic. I want to see that continue. So let me know. Do you want him back? Yes or no? Now let me tell you about my friends over at redpegtees.com that are hooking you up with the most unique and fun and exciting Dallas Mavericks t-shirts, even during the offseason. Go to redpegtees.com, use promo code REDPEG20 to get 20% off your entire order. They got Dirk Nowitzki shirts. They got Luka Doncic shirts. You see this one on screen right here? I wore this when Luka hit his step-back game-winning shot. 77 MVP, you better get that one because he's going to be an MVP candidate this year. Or maybe you want the Dirk Illusion shirt that I'm wearing on screen right now. It's all at redpegtees.com. Go check them out. Use that special promo code REDPEG20. And oh, by the way, they're a Dallas-based company, so who doesn't love some DFW natives? All right, let's talk about Luka Doncic. Now, he fell just short of the Most Improved Player award. Brandon Ingram won it. Bam Adebayo came in second, but Luka still had an outstanding season. In the NBA playoffs, and Bam Adebayo obviously is still in the playoffs as well, so we'll see what his averages finish up with, but he put up 30 points, 10 boards, 9 assists per game. He went from Rookie of the Year last year to an All-Star this year, and really a top 5 or 6 MVP candidate. Just imagine what he's going to do in his 3rd year. Now, when I put out my predictions for Most Improved Player, I know some of you guys are going to hate me for this, and I get it. I actually had Brandon Ingram winning, and I think he deserved this award. You look at the guys who got first-place votes, or the most first-place votes, I should say. Ingram, he got 42. Bam Adebayo was real close at 38, and then it was a pretty steep drop-off at Luka Doncic with 12 first-place votes. Jason Tatum and Devontae Graham got 3 and 2, respectively. So, did he deserve some votes? Yes, absolutely. Do I think he finished 3rd? Rightfully so. I really do. I love Luka, but when you're Rookie of the Year, when you take a step forward like he did, it wasn't all that surprising. He also had a huge jump in minutes. Brandon Ingram, on the other hand, played the same amount of minutes, and we'll get down to his numbers here in just a minute. But maybe you disagree with me. maybe you do think Luka deserved that Most Improved Player award, and that's okay. I respect that opinion. In fact, I'm not mad about it. I would have loved to see him get it. I just think Brandon Ingram deserved it. But who do you think deserved it? Let me know in the comment section. Maybe it was Luka. Maybe it was Brandon Ingram. Maybe it was Bam Adebayo. Maybe totally different name that we didn't even see in the voting, like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let me know down below. So let's take a step back and just look at the growth that Luka went through from his rookie to his sophomore season, because it was truly special. He went from 21 points per game up to 29 points per game. His rebounds jumped up by nearly 2. Assists per game went up by nearly 3. Of course, playing with better players will do that. He was more efficient from the field as he ended up getting to the rim more often than not. Now, his three-point percentage took a slight dip, but that's because he was shooting a lot more. But you look at the guy who won first place, and it's hard to argue with these numbers, man. He went from an 18-point-per-game kind of role player on a bad Lakers team to 24 points per game on a nearly playoff-bound, I guess you should say, New Orleans Pelicans team. He also averaged 1 more rebound, 1 more assist. He's a little less efficient, but a better three-point shooter. Brandon Ingram was truly special, and the fact that he was playing the same amount of minutes in New Orleans as he was in LA, and he was putting up these kind of numbers, just tell me that, he went from a decent player to an all-star level player. But let's not overlook Luka. Let's go back to him and put the focus back on how well he did this year. Because the season's all wrapped up. He made his first playoff appearance in the NBA, first of many. I think the Mavs will be in the playoffs for the next 10 to 15 years with him at the helm of it all. He was a first-time All-Star as a second-year player. He improved his points per game by nearly 8 points per game. He upped his assists by nearly 3 assists per game, and he led the NBA in triple-doubles with 17. That's more than Russell Westbrook. That's more than LeBron James. That's more than anybody else in the entire league. I am so proud of what we saw from Luka Doncic. I think he had an outstanding season. I just think Brandon Ingram probably deserved this award a little bit more. Now, if you guys disagree, that's fine. Let me know in the comment section. I appreciate all you guys coming to All Things Mavs, watching all my videos along with me. And as always, go Mavs, baby.